Imagine an empire that the world feared for 300 years. Sparta. The very name meant war. We have been told they were invincible, but today we are going to show you the hidden truth. Behind the red capes and the shiny shields was a story of the greatest embarrassment in ancient history. This is the story of the Battle of Leuctra. It was not just a defeat, it was a catastrophe. It was the day the Spartans faced a nightmare so total that their empire shattered into dust. This is the story of a fatal mistake that destroyed the myth of the Spartan warrior forever. Welcome to the rise of Thebes. For centuries, history books have told us a lie. They tell us that Sparta was perfect. They tell us that Sparta was the master of Greece. But this is a myth. By the year 371 BC, the reality was very different. Sparta was not strong. They were desperate. They were an old wolf with no teeth. Here is what everyone gets wrong. We think Sparta fell because they lost one battle. No, Sparta fell because their system was a disaster waiting to happen. They had too many slaves called helots and not enough Spartan citizens to control them. They were afraid every day that the slaves would rise up and kill them. They were spread too thin. They were fighting wars in every direction, trying to control everyone. And who was waiting in the dark? Thebes. Thebes was Sparta's neighbor, but they were not friends. Thebes was a city that Sparta had bullied for years. Sparta had even taken over Thebes once, putting a cruel government in power. Thebes was not famous for war. They were famous for music and writing. No one looked at Thebes and saw a threat. But Thebes had a secret. They had a betrayal in their hearts. They were preparing for the ultimate revenge. Every great war is really about people. This is the story of two men who could not be more different. On the Spartan side, we have King Cleombrotus. He was the leader of the Spartan army. He was a traditional man. He believed that being a Spartan was enough to win. He did not believe in new ideas. He thought, we are Spartans. We will just walk forward and crush them. His arrogance was his fatal mistake. Against him stood Epaminondas. He was not a king. He was just a general. In fact, in Sparta, they would have laughed at him. He was poor, he had a bad leg, and he loved philosophy. But he had something Cleombrotus did not have, a mind for innovation. Epaminondas was a student of war. He knew that if he fought Sparta in the normal way, Thebes would be destroyed. He knew he had to change the rules. He had to cheat. And Epaminondas was not alone. He had his best friend, Pelopidas. Together, they trained a secret unit called the Sacred Band. These were 150 pairs of male lovers. The logic was simple. You fight harder if you are fighting next to the person you love. This was a radical idea. To the conservative Spartans, this was a nightmare. But to Thebes, this was their weapon. They were not just soldiers. They were a family. Let us look at the map. Let us look at the scale of this disaster in the making. The year is 371 BC. The Spartan king Cleombrotus marched his army out of Sparta. He had thousands of soldiers. He had allies from all over Greece. He moved into the region of Boeotia, the land of Thebes. The Spartans were confident. They had more men. They held the high ground psychologically. They thought the Thebans were scared. The location was Leuctra. It was a flat, open plain, perfect for heavy infantry. The armies formed their lines. This is where the hidden truth comes out. The standard way to fight in Greece was simple. You put your best soldiers on your right side. You put your weak soldiers on your left. You tried to push the enemy's left side back. The Spartans did exactly what they always did. Diplomacy failed. The Spartans sent a messenger. They demanded that Thebes surrender. They demanded that Thebes dissolve their alliance. But Epaminondas said no. He made a counter-demand. He told the Spartans to leave Boeotia immediately. It was a bold move. It was a gamble.
The Spartans were shocked. No one spoke to Sparta like that. They decided to attack. They had no idea they were walking into a trap. The battle began. The first move was the cavalry. The Theban horses attacked the Spartan horses and pushed them back. The Spartan horses were confused and retreated right into their own infantry. This caused a disaster for the Spartan organization. It was chaos before the real fighting even started. Now, the main attack. The Theban left, the giant hammer, charged downhill. They did not hit the whole Spartan line. They hit only the Spartan right, where the king was. It was a hammer hitting an anvil. Epaminondas had broken the rules. He made his left side incredibly strong. He put his best 300 men, the sacred band, front and center. He stacked them 50 men deep. Usually a phalanx was only 8 men deep. The impact was terrifying. The Thebans had so much weight behind them that the Spartans could not hold their ground. Spears broke, shields shattered. The Spartans were used to fighting for a long time, pushing and shoving, but this was different. They were being crushed instantly. And then the nightmare happened. The Spartan king, Cleombrotus, was killed. He was struck down by a Theban soldier. The leader was dead. The morale of the Spartans collapsed. They did not know what to do. Their system required them to never surrender, but they were being physically pushed off the field. Meanwhile, the Spartan left side was just watching. They were confused. They were not fighting because Epaminondas had tricked them. The Theban right side was slowly moving back, avoiding the fight. The Spartans were fighting a ghost army, while their best men were being destroyed. The Spartan left side were simply spectators. The Spartans retreated. They asked for a truce to pick up their dead. This was the ultimate sign of defeat. Sparta, the ruler of Greece, asked for mercy from Thebes. The betrayal of their myth was complete. They lost 400 citizens that day. To us, 400 sounds small, but for Sparta, losing 400 full citizens was a catastrophe they could never recover from. They simply didn't have enough men left to rule. Why did the empire collapse? Because of one fatal mistake: arrogance. They believed their own hype. They thought the old ways were the only ways. But Epaminondas showed the world that brains are better than muscles. Thebes proved that a small, weak nation could defeat a strong empire if they are smart enough. Sparta never recovered. They faded into history. Thebes rose to the top, if only for a short time. We have seen how the myth was broken. We have seen how a fatal mistake in leadership can destroy an empire. But history is complex. Now we want to hear from you. This is a complicated topic. Do you think Sparta lost because of bad tactics, or was their society already dying? Was Epaminondas the greatest general of ancient Greece, or was he just lucky? Leave a comment below with your opinion. We read every comment. Tell us what you think is the biggest disaster in military history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden truths of history, please make sure to like this video. It helps us make more content. Share this video with your friends who love ancient history. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more documentaries where we reveal the reality behind the myths. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.